Testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, we'll start pitching the bang on podium.
Next week when I present, not today.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm David Henry, Media Relations Director for the City of Amarillo. Everyone with the media, y'all good and ready to go? Everyone's fired up? All right, we're going to have, you guys have the agenda of speakers. They'll cover, give a presentation, latest information, ask questions. Now would be the time up at the podium. We're going to start with Director of the Amarillo Area Office of Emergency Management, Max Dunlap.
Good afternoon. Max Dunlap, Director of Emergency Management for the Amarillo area. We cover both Potter, Randall County, City of Canyon, City of Amarillo. Bear with me, we've been up for a few days, working situations, so I'll be a little slow this afternoon. So I want to start a little bit with some context of when we activated our Emergency Operations Center in response to these fires, which was actually the morning of the 26th, that we were starting to prep resources here locally and addressing issues here locally within Potter and Randall counties. So we began working together and coordinating resources to push out through Potter, Randall County, as well as coordinating requests through surrounding counties and our partner counties as well. However, moving through into yesterday, when the Windy Deuce fire started, that did start in a neighboring county and moved into Potter County. So current estimates on that is 90,000 acres burned at a 25% containment. This is an active fire, so that is of a little while ago and may not be 100% up to date. Information we have received is Potter County Fire is working with TDEM to get a better count on the burned area. So we are still fighting that fire, currently engaged on south side of 136 within Potter County. They're trying to establish a line around the head of the fire to ensure actively trying to stop forward movement at this time. Terrain is rough, so it is making for a hard fight. I do want to say, and I can't say this enough, the sheer ability for our firefighters here locally to do what they did over the last 48 hours is extreme. For them to actively respond in zero visibility conditions with those smoke conditions, as well as pitch dark and rough terrain, and continue to make as much progress as they have now is a testament to what first responders in the Panhandle can do. And they do need to be applauded for that. Last night, the fire did come close enough that it did threaten areas of the northeast part of the city. So we did issue an evacuation for Masilla Park subdivision, and only Masilla Park subdivision was the only mandatory evacuation. So we did actually activate a shelter as well. Initially, the shelter is located at River Road ISD High School. A big thank you to staff at River Road High School and the superintendent there, always a great partner with the City of Amarillo and first responders. After we activated there, we realized there would be a possibility we would need to move it again, so we went ahead and made that choice to move it to the Warford Center. From there, starting around 10 p.m. is when that decision was made to move to the Warford Center. Both AFDs, AMBUS, the Animal Management and Welfare Department, Environmental Health, Public Health, and Amarillo's Community Emergency Response Team were supporting that shelter for as long as it was open. At around 2:30 a.m. this morning, it was deemed that shelter was not necessary anymore, and the evacuation requirements were rescinded, and citizens could return back to their homes. At this time, there's been a few inquiries on donations and volunteers. So Potter County Fire is currently taking donations at Station 5, located at 2301 East Willow Creek. And again, these donations, please make them non-perishable items such as bottled water, things like that. At this time also, as the Panhandle spirit is, everyone wants to help our neighbors. Be mindful to be help and not a hindrance. There is one sure way you can do that. With local volunteering agencies, whether it's VOAD, Community Emergency Response Team, the Red Cross, anything that's a vetted organization, to where you will be a help and not a hindrance into the situation. So due to the current 90,000 acres burned to this fire, we are asking that citizens of Potter County or even Randall County that have suffered burns in their property or anything like that, or damage, I should say, not burns, on their property, complete a damage assessment form. Some may remember this from the May flooding complex. It's the same form, just a different incident number. That website to go to fill that out is damage@tdem.texas.gov. That incident number to be used is 24-0001. Again, that is damage@tdem.texas.gov, incident number 24-0001. At this time, I can take any questions you have.
Is Pantex back to normal operations, and how close did the fire come to the facility?
Max, let's run through all the speakers and we'll do questions at the end. So I think that'll probably answer some of the questions.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Okay. So with that, to answer your question, we do have Dr. Ryan Nash here from Panhandle.
Hello, everybody. So I am Ryan Nash from the NNSA production office out of the Pantex plant. We gave a media briefing last night to reiterate some of what we said. At around 7:30 last night, we did activate our emergency response organization. We did activate our Joint Information Center, which is in downtown Amarillo, so we were able to speak to many of you about some of the things that were going on. But the decision was made last night by our executive leadership team to go ahead and evacuate the non-essential members of the Pantex plant. We were able to safely get everybody off, leaving only our first responders, of which we do have a fully staffed fire support team and protective force and others that did remain. Luckily, because of the heroic efforts of our surrounding community, the fire never did come to the Pantex plant, so none of the fire ever crossed upon our boundaries. We were prepared and we are trained in the event that should have happened, but through the efforts of our surrounding community, we never had to take any actions. So at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to David Henry of the city, and so he can introduce the next speaker.
Thank you, Ryan. Now go with Joanne Cullen with National Weather Service.
Hi, I'm Joanne Cullen, the Morning Coordination Meteorologist with the National Weather Service, with a weather update. We did see a cold front that came through last night, brought that wind shift, of course, affected some of the fires. We are a little bit less breezy today, but that won't last very long. We do expect that there should be some moisture moving through overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. There could be a rain-snow mix that affects roughly the Amarillo area to the southern and eastern parts of the Panhandle. The rainfall amounts or snow amounts, precipitation amounts should not be very high. At best, maybe a couple of tenths of an inch at best. That would be more snow, less than a tenth of an inch of rain. These rainfall amounts may provide a little relief for current fires, but won't for anything, won't provide any wetting ground for anything in the future. We do continue to dry out towards the weekend. The cool weather we're experiencing now will not last long. We will get back into the 70s over the weekend. The winds will continue to increase over the weekend, and we are monitoring conditions for Saturday and Sunday for another weekend of widespread critical fire weather danger across the Panhandle. Looking at probably a couple of days of red flag warnings issued for the area. Relative humidities will be around 10%, possibly less. Wind speeds should be sustained 20 to 30 miles an hour, gusting to 40, possibly 50 on some of those days. So we encourage everyone to remain vigilant, practice their fire safety tips. Don't toss out cigarettes. Watch what you're doing, and really remain vigilant of anything that may cause a spark. So with that, I'll send it to you.
We have our individual panel members are available for questions. If you want to ask now, feel free.
What resources are we sending to Friction Canadian?
So over the past few days, multiple strike teams have been assembled, both with state assistance as well as local here. AFD has sent multiple trucks as well. So AFD has sent, Randall County has sent vehicles up here to Potter County and assist with them. Road and bridge assets, public works assets are all being utilized right now to combat these fires.
Have any other areas across the state, are they sending any additional help?
I would refer that to TDEM and other assets on the state level.
Do we know about how many departments are involved in this? Would you have that knowledge, like how many departments and how much resources are being used on this?
I can only speak to situations going on in Potter and Randall County, but I can tell you all of us have been working extraordinarily well together in response to this. We are neighbors. We continue to combat and have each other's backs in these times of need. So we will continue to do that here locally.
And the fires that are closest to Amarillo, can you give some kind of containment updates on those?
So the last containment numbers I had, which are in process of being updated, but the last containment numbers I had, 90,000 acres burned, 25% contained.
How do you feel about the response from local fire department?
Local fire department?
Or just Potter and Randall as well?
Potter and Randall County. I will tell you, being in public service and public safety in the Panhandle is different than anywhere else I've ever served in this country. The first responders have a special passion about them for their neighbors, for their property, for life safety. Some of the first responders here are unmatched. So my thoughts on the response is they have fought long and hard and will continue to fight until the job's done relentlessly.
So currently the fire is still burning in Randall County, and the direction that it's going, are we going to be looking at possibly at any more evacuations, any more areas where people are living that is going to be affected?
So we continue to monitor the situation with the Windy Deuce fire and its current situation on 136. At this time, I can't speak to any more evacuations or anything like that, but we continue to monitor.
How long was the evacuation center open?
Roughly 10 p.m. to 2:30 a.m.
And then I just missed, was Pantex back to normal operations today?
Yes, sir. Normal operations did occur this morning.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions for anyone on the panel?
I guess one question, the amount of people that have been evacuated, do we have a number on that?
As far as the Panhandle,
Correct. Or closest to here, the one surrounding cities.
surrounding cities I can't speak to, so I can only refer to Randall County. That I do not have those numbers. You would have to refer to TDEM or a state level asset.
And I know one thing had changed where certain people were allowed to return. How's the update on that?
As far as Potter counties?
Correct, just on Potter County.
Yes. So we rescinded the evacuation order at around 2:30 this morning.
Can be to speak with as well about any possible structures that were impacted by the fires in Potter Randall?
At this time, I do not have any confirmed reports of structure damage at this time.
You mentioned there was the one voluntary evacuation. Have there been any voluntary evacuations within Potter Randall?
There was a voluntary evacuation a little farther north up 136 around the same time, and it started right before ours.
What's the community response to like donations or, people needing help?
Absolutely. The outpour and care, as I said, citizens in the Panhandle take care of ourselves and each other. We serve and help each other in times of need. So if you do wish to give, serve, or anything, find an outlet to do so. Find a donations area to give. Find a reputable volunteer organization to serve with.
And I guess I got one question for Pantex. So we had the stuff that you sent out last night. With the way the fires are set up now, do you see any danger at all to your facility, or are you taking any type of precautions for that?
So we remain 24/7 staffed with our first responders. We do have an in-house fire department, paramedics, all of these things, which we do have mutual aid agreements to where we can support our local communities as well. Due to the time buffer that our local communities gave us, we were very well prepared. So in the event that this fire were to